What is wrong with the current paradigm? Why should you trust a third party? This model has proven to be useless over and over again. People will start asking questions. They can make it worthless.
Pieces of
Bitcoin will change the economy as you know it. By the end of this video, you'll understand what money is supposed to be, what fiat money is, what paradigm and paradigm shifts are, and why, eventually, the world will be taken over by Bitcoin. While trying to understand why Bitcoin will shift the current paradigm, it's also important to understand what a paradigm shift is and how it works. A paradigm is a generally accepted notion. A paradigm shift consists of 4 stages. The first stage is called normal silence, and no one questions it. The second stage is called model drift. In this stage, some anomalies will occur that can't be fixed or explained with the current paradigm. For the third stage, model crisis, anomalies that can't be fixed or explained with the current paradigm will get so loud and so problematic that people will start to question if there's a new way of doing things. Perhaps what we've been blindly doing so far was not the only way or the correct way. And then comes the fourth stage, paradigm shift itself. In this stage, the current paradigm will be replaced by the new paradigm. The current paradigm is that we need government-issued money for our economy to work. Yes, money is essential for faster and easier trade, but is fiat money a good money per se? By fiat money, I refer to USD, Euro, British Pound, or Turkish Lira. What fiat money essentially is a money that is not backed by a commodity like gold or silver or Bitcoin, but rather backed by a government. So government has ultimate control over this money. They can print as much as they like, they can take it back, they can make it worthless or worth millions. In this video, I will show you that our economy is at the third stage of a paradigm shift, which is model crisis. By the end of this video, my goal is to shed light on the system that is not working anymore and try to find a better solution. Let's start by looking at what properties a good money needs to have. Money should be generally accepted all around the world, so you can buy anything with it from anyone. Some fiat have this property more than others, but none of them are accepted all around the world. For example, I wouldn't be able to buy anything in Europe or USA with the money that I'm getting paid from my government, which is Turkish lira. Also, governments can disregard each other's currency as they wish to further their control on their own economy. I will touch on this later on, but there is currently no form of money that is accepted all around the world. Maybe gold, but gold lacks other qualities like portability or divisibility. Speaking of portability, is USD portable? How much money can you take on you before you start to think about the dangers that might happen to you? How much money can you actually move in your pocket or in your hand, in your purse? You think USD is portable, but think about large quantities of money. How much will fit in your bag? You can't move it all. People will start asking questions. You will get afraid of getting mugged. And how much would it weigh? Perhaps you're saying you don't need to carry money on you and you can leave it at a bank and use it via a debit card. But why should you trust a third party to handle your money? Banks are created just to fill the gap of how not portable money actually is. Why should you trust a third party to keep your money secure? Also, the bank system is not durable against what are called bank runs. You can't always withdraw as much money as you want. So banks create online money, but what you see as your balance is not actually there. Banks can use your balance to lend it out so they can make a profit out of it. No matter how regulated they try to be, this model has proven to be useless over and over again. I'm sure you're familiar with the 2008 financial crisis that was caused by the Lehman Brothers, which was the 4th biggest investment bank in USA. A third property money should have is durability, and this is kind of a no-brainer. Money, cash, is obviously not durable. It's essentially paper, right? It tears, it breaks apart, it gets wet, and it can burn. So it's basically susceptible to any kind of physical danger. The last physical quality money should have is divisibility. This is because not everything costs the same. Say you want to buy a cow and you have chicken. You need to pay 8.5 chicken to get 1 cow. But you can't divide a chicken in half, so you come up with money. You assign numerical values to everything, and then money can be divided into these numerical values. But just know, inflation can turn any form of money into just worthless pieces of paper. Inflation is explained as the rise in the prices of goods. But what it really is devaluation of money. Money gets devalued because central banks can print as much money as they want when they encounter a problem. Right, enough about fiat money. Let's talk about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is by nature divisible. What we call one Bitcoin is actually a million bits. So one Bitcoin is divisible into 1 million pieces. You can safely store and carry your Bitcoin anywhere with what are called hardware wallets. These wallets enable you to have self-custody of your assets. Since you have self-custody of your assets, that means no central entity will get to hold huge sums of money to protect it, and it will create a more financially secure system. Inflation of Bitcoin is set in code and can't be changed, unlike the Fed's policies every 5 years. This predictability will create a more stable environment for investors. Money should be a good store of value, but fiat money is not a good store of value due to inflation. The dollar is fundamentally inflationary and keeps losing value. That's why people keep investing in other assets such as real estate, commodities, or even stocks. That means cash keeps pouring into these other stuff, so they always keep going up in value. Trying to save money in cash is like pedaling against the current, because assets are dominated in fiat. The norm we accept today is that it's okay for everything else to go up in value. But why? They are not getting any more valuable, they're not getting any rarer. It's just an illusion, because we've been so blinded by inflation. Today's economy is built on leverage and debt. This economy pushes those who can buy assets away from those who can't buy assets. In simplest terms, it widens the gap between the poor and the rich. My belief is that more and more countries will adopt Bitcoin, and central banks will start holding Bitcoin as reserve, just like they do with gold. This will drive the price of Bitcoin initially to very high levels until full adoption happens, after which the price of Bitcoin will stabilize, at which point the price of other assets will start to be denominated by Bitcoin instead of fiat money. This will ensure price stability in assets for good. People will decide if they want to lend out their own money, and if they choose to do so, they will get the interest. Self-custody of assets will require much more knowledgeable investors, and overall the number of scams, Ponzi schemes will go down. But most importantly, keep the gap between the rich and the poor from growing, at least not by default anymore.